Hi, it's Mark here. The sun shines on the righteous, I think they say. Or is it the self-righteous? Maybe it's that. It's not shining on me simply because I've had to close the blinds, which is a bit of an achievement in Scotland at the end of October. So I'm quite pleased just to be feeling warm. I want to talk today about personal identity. And we hear about that a lot nowadays. ID cards are all the rage in terms of debate. Should we all have one? We hear about identities on Facebook. Most of us now have a profile. We might have more than one profile on more than one social networking site. And image is becoming everything in many, many ways. We have many images and profiles around that say who we are. So in that sense, personal identity is out there. However, I want to talk about it in a more personal way. And identity is a sense of self, of who we are. Why are we here? What is my purpose? To go back to the philosopher René Descartes, 400 or 500 years ago, he said, "I think, therefore I am." That was a step to realizing self-identity and to trying to explore those questions. And that hasn't changed as the centuries have gone past. We still have that burning question about who we are and why we're here. I see more people, perhaps than ever before, starting to get to those questions and asking them. And perhaps some of that is a response to the economic climate in the last 2 to 3 years, when materialistic pursuits have taken a bit of a puncture with the recession, and people are maybe starting to look elsewhere for their happiness and to try and establish a bigger purpose for themselves. And I've noticed a couple of strategies that people have taken to try and get to a sense of their own personal identity. The first one is to go back to the past. And to chart family trees, where the origins of different branches of their family came from, which countries they were born in, what the traditions were, all the way down to who married who did what to who died in which war, and all those other questions that go with that. The other strategy I see a lot of comes with people who perhaps have not had any real religious upbringing, but suddenly starting to explore the question about the future. So what happens when I die and I leave this planet? Where do I go? What's the next bit? What's the bigger picture? Because through that I might get a sense of purpose. So people start looking at religions, exploring them, maybe looking even at cults, developing a sense of spirituality, and trying to answer that question about the future. Now, there's a lot of good in exploring the past with the family, trees, and that approach, and exploring the future. They can be interesting, and they're worthwhile in their own right. My point for this video is, while worthwhile, neither of them are going to give us that sense of personal identity. We need to look inward for that. Out there isn't going to work. And if you think about the questions around sense of self and identity, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? They're present tense questions. They're not questions about the past, and they're not questions about the future. So if we want to address them, we need to look at the present. Who I am right now, right here, on this planet, in the reality as I experience it. And we'll look in future videos, and I'm also looking at articles, and indeed I'm writing a book. We'll look at strategies for how I can get to that sense of self. And once I have, how can I project that sense of self in a truly authentic way? I talk to many people nowadays, and this is my final point for this video, who talk about the universal source of energy, that the universe is energy. There is an unlimited source of it, and if we can connect to it, how much more glorious and fantastic our life will feel. We won't feel isolated, we won't feel low energy, we won't feel down about things that go on. One of the things I want to say is, if we want to connect to that source of energy, the first thing we need to do is to connect with ourselves. Because connections only work when they're secure at both ends. The connection to the source of energy is already there. It's the one we need to make with ourselves that's the one we need to get at first. So getting to that sense of self-identity is really important if we want to be genuinely fulfilled and happy going forward. So I'm going to leave you with that thought now. I hope the sun's out for you today, and live in the present, and I'll talk to you again at some point in the very near future. Take care. Bye for now.